Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a review of the Herbal Tarot. And I got this used, and it is, I have to say, it is a little dingy on the sides. It has been used, or kept out. And so I was just looking at it, and I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trim it, I think, to get it back to being kind of to the fresher cardstock on the sides. I think I'm going to have to do that. In any case, this is the Herbal Tarot. I did get it used, and it is definitely used. And which I don't mind, and it is a little bit of an older deck. I don't know when. Here it says 1988. I think you can still buy it new, but I got this in a trade actually. So, and I have the box, but it's a battered box, and it's just a little, I don't know if this is, it's US Game System, so it's the old basic US Game Systems box. So in the guidebook, I don't think does it have any spreads in the back? No, it doesn't have any spreads in the back. It talks about herbs and tarot here. And then what it has for each card, here's the major arcana. It gives it says genus, so it gives you ginseng, genus panax. Ginseng is the herb of cosmic energy. It is a tonic and demulcent. So I can't show you because my webcam is in mirror mode, so you won't be able to read it. It'll be backwards. The root is used for all deficiencies and weaknesses, and it gives an astrological association of Uranus. Symbolically, in other words, the plant is symbolically used for lack of sufficient motivation and drive, a cold, deficient, and weakened state, problems assimilating food and ideas, personal support. And then it gives divinatory meanings for the card: detached innocence, no responsibilities or cares, freedom to roam and enjoy unfettered energy. And then it gives reversed meaning for the card: irresponsibility, carelessness, flightiness, extravagance, folly. So, and it does that for major arcana. It does it for all of the, here's a minor arcana, 8 of Cups. Gravel root, Eupatorium purpureum. Yes, it has the Latin. Tonic, diuretic used to help dissolve urinary stones, treats urinary weakness and both excessive and lack of urine. So, I think many, if not all, of the cups, not all of them, have to do, they're diuretics, they have to do with, urinary tract stuff. So it's kind of a funny way of looking at the cups. So it's treated in a herbal medicinal sort of way, so that you could, I don't know that this is the best way to decide on something that's wrong with you or for a treatment, but you could potentially shuffle the deck and pull for, what do I need for my, this, I'm feeling unwell, what's the issue, and pull it and get some feedback there. I don't know. So divinatory meaning for the 8 of Cups: accept and move on, the need to venture into unexplored territories for deeper fulfillment. Reverse meaning: drifting into oblivion, losing one's grip on things. So that's all it gives for the minor arcana. So, interesting. I'm just not sure. I love the plant associations with the deck, and so I'm going to do a walkthrough here. It's an average size deck, average kind of cardstock. I don't know, but it has, you know, you've got the additional plant association there. But it's used in such a scientific herbalist sense, and I would have preferred to have something a little, you know, a little mythological background maybe on saffron, or cultural background on saffron, which is what this is for the Three of Wands, saffron. It's definitely a book, or a deck, if you want to get the most out of it. I think you do need to read this. Just like when I was going through it, my mother is a plant person. I would call her an amateur botanist. And so I took this up when I went to see her. She doesn't have any interest in tarot cards per se. But I just thought it was interesting. And my sister was looking at it, and she is a massage therapist, and she had recently taken a course just as part of her development as a healer in herbalism, I guess you would call it. And sorry, just a minute, I'm having back pain, and I almost never, I'm so lucky in that regard at this point in my life. I almost never have back pain. What's going on there? Maybe it's the saffron. I need to check that out. But so we were sitting around the table looking at it, and I was looking at this book as they were looking at the cards, and I was looking at the cups, and I said, well, this one they have as a diuretic, and then I looked at the next cup. Oh, well, this one is too, and wait, so is this one. And I thought, well, I don't know. Like I said, I would rather they had done something for each plant that had to do with culture or mythical significance of the plants, in addition to the healing aspect of the plant. So, Three of Wands, saffron. We're into walk through now. Two of Wands, basil. Some of these are quite humorous, actually. Ten of Wands, prickly ash root. Queen of Wands, raspberry leaf. Knight of Wands, aconite, which is a poisonous herb. I have to wonder about that one. Four of Cups, burdock. Six of Cups, watermelon, as in it's sweet. You know, I wouldn't have thought of watermelon as an herb at all. It's like, what is watermelon doing in here? But it's a fun association with the Six of Cups. And you can see there's enough. There is some departure from the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's largely Rider-Waite-Smith. Blue flag, Page of Pentacles. Also very female-oriented, so I don't know that, are there any? Surely there are men. I'm not sure. Blue flag. If anybody didn't recognize an iris, blue flag. Four of Pentacles, cascara bark. Again, there's some amusement here. So here's this person setting what looks like a chess set. In the background, you don't even have, normally in the background of the Four of Pentacles you have a city. And so here in the background you have an outhouse. So that just, I don't know. I like the humor here. The Magician, astragalus. So yes, and this is a man. Alright, so I have to take back my accusation of it being such a female deck. Eight of Pentacles, ginger. Seven of Pentacles, rhubarb. Six of Pentacles, hops. Five of Pentacles, mugwort. Seven of Cups, juniper berries. Three of Cups, trillium. The Tower, garlic. Ten of Cups, and this is one of the most humorous ones to me. Ten of Cups, marijuana. Nine of Cups, squavine. 8 of Cups, gravel root. 6 of Wands, hawthorn. And so you can see that they're keeping a lot of this stuff very nature-oriented, simple, you know, like he doesn't have, there's no sense of like victory in war or social victory here. So that's an interesting aspect of this deck in general. 5, so they're keeping it sort of rural, primitive a little bit. 5 of Wands, turmeric. 4 of Wands, fennel seed. 4 of Swords, mullein. 5 of Cups, horsetail. Ace of Pentacles, whole grains. And to me that's lumping them all together, I don't know, wheat and oats, Ace of Pentacles, I suppose. The World, comfrey. I'll have to figure that. I don't know why comfrey would be chosen for that. Can't think of anything better, but Justice, plantain. 2 of Cups, uva ursi. I don't know. I love that. It's a lovely 2 of Cups. The way their robes are kind of interleaving there. I like that. The closeness, there's a closeness there that is often not I don't know, not in a lot of lovers or 2 of Cups cards. Ace of Cups, lotus. King of Wands, I like this, cinnamon. I like that for a King of Wands, that's cool. Ace of Wands, yarrow. Knight of Swords, St. John's wort. Queen of Swords, lady slipper. Knight of Swords, wild cherry bark. Page of Swords, dillweed. I like that too. 10 of Swords, ephedra. Well, that's interesting. Again, I wish they'd had a more robust guidebook than this. It's like, even if, I don't know, why ephedra for this? Again, I don't necessarily have an objection. It's just a question mark in my mind. That's interesting. I think this is great for 9 of Swords, valerian. 9 of Swords, valerian. Gentian for 3 of Pentacles. The Emperor, Tractylodes, I don't know what that is. 3 of Swords, pleurisy root. 2 of Swords, passion flower. And for the Wheel of Fortune, they have medicine wheel instead, and slippery elm. Again, I wonder, okay, why slippery elm with a medicine wheel? Okay, well that does make sense. Not with the Wheel of Fortune necessarily, but with a medicine wheel, slippery elm makes a lot of sense because it is good for so many things. Page of Wands, shepherd's purse. King of Cups, saw palmetto. 5 of Swords, mistletoe. So curious to use that for 5 of Swords. 9 of Pentacles, dark grapes. Knight of Pentacles, elecampane. 10 of Pentacles, wild yam. That makes some sense to me. The High Priestess Peony. I'm very curious about that. I don't know why peony would be chosen for the High Priestess. The Empress Dan Quai. That makes a lot of sense. Ace of Swords Chamomile. That one doesn't make sense to me. So that's another one I'm really curious about why they would choose. Other than it's a very airy plant, yes, but chamomile is something that usually is used for relaxation. So yeah. The Fool, ginseng, as we read about earlier. Interesting. It's an interesting image because it's not the usual cliff that he's stepping off to or off of. It's like he's stepping into another world or something, or stepping out of or off of the world. Queen of Cups, Lady's Mantle. King of Cups, Sarsaparilla. Page of Cups, Damiana. The Star, Skullcap. Pan, Lobelia. So instead of the devil, we have Pan. And again, for some of these, you know, I wish they had the mythology around them a little bit, like even the common name. Here she has the common name Skullcap. You know, how did it get that name? Tell us a little bit about the herbs. But, you know, U.S. game systems, they don't want to, especially at this time, you know, 1988, they didn't want to give you any more than that little bit. Temperance, Echinacea, an interesting choice there. Death, for the death cards, we have elderflowers, interesting choice there. Suspended Person, instead of the Hanged Man, we have Suspended Person, and he's hanging from kelp. A very interesting and kind of a stretch, because of course we don't sink quite like that. It would be hard to remain suspended like that underwater. So, but anyway, I don't object to it. It's just like, what? It's interesting. So that's the Hangman, of course. So they've changed it and they've called it Suspended Person. King of Pentacles, Alfalfa. And again, I'm a little curious about that. I like that alfalfa is in here, but for King of Pentacles, question mark for me. Queen of Pentacles, Marshmallow. Two of Pentacles, Yellow Duck. Nine of Wands, Bayberry Bark. Judgment is Golden Seal. I think that's an interesting choice there. For some of the really powerful healing herbs, it's interesting where they put them, like garlic for the Tower, here Golden Seal for Judgment, Echinacea for Temperance. Yeah, and Slippery Elm for the World. Interesting. For the Medicine Wheel. The Sun is Angelica. The Moon is Lemon Balm. And so they've got down here what looks like a scorpion and a lizard for the Moon. So very different representation there, to me, in terms of animals. The High Priest, Sage. Parsley for the Lovers, and this is one of those where I'm going, why? Not that I have an objection. It's just, I'm gonna have to look at parsley again. I've never looked at parsley as a lover's sort of an herb. The Hermit, licorice. Again, I'm not sure why, but I like it. Strength, cayenne. That's great. I love that one. So a lot of these herbs I'm not familiar enough to even have an opinion on them. But 7 of Swords, wood betony. And again, kind of a different representation of the 7 of Swords with those 5 flying through the air and then 2 on the earth. Eight of Swords, black cohosh. And here it looks like the person is already starting to escape, you know, is already leaning against one of the swords. For the Chariot, Cyperus, and it's Cyperus. And I kind of miss the horses. I have to say, you know, the Chariot's my birth card. I do like the yin and yang sign on there. That makes a lot of sense to me. But hanging on to a couple of herbs instead of having some sort of beast, well, I don't know. Is it, you know, as I've said before, in any deck I don't have a make or break. And with the Chariot, it's often interpreted in some pretty interesting ways, but there we go. So I have to put up with it. I have to be a charioteer and just put up with it and say, all right, okay, I can see that. 6 of Swords, vervain. Again, kind of an interesting choice there. I think vervain does tend to grow on the edge of water. And interesting again, you know, no people. And that's, well, no, we do have people in here. All right. 8 of Wands, sassafras. I like that sassafras is in there. I don't know what it has to do with 8 of Wands. And 7 of Wands, wild ginger. So there you go. Your walk through the Herbal Tarot deck. Very interesting deck, and I'm very glad I have it. Like I said, just because of the age of this deck, I'm not at all disturbed by the borders, and it's an easy, nice size, and of course, since it's been used, it's nice and soft and ready to shuffle kind of thing. But I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of a dirty, dingy on the sides, and so I will probably trim it. Like a lot of decks you get, or I get at any rate, and I'm totally behind. I'm totally with them on the idea of the deck, etc., and how they've used it, how they've used the system and added to the system. But in order to use it fully, I would have to set aside like a month of study of the deck, or at least I feel like maybe I'm overstating the case, maybe just a week. But I almost do feel like a month. It's because this doesn't provide very much information on wild ginger. So it's like what I would want to do is take wild ginger and make a note to make my own book about it, essentially, to make my own book to go with this deck that would include, you know, folklore associated with wild ginger, or any, you know, mythological associations with wild ginger. Maybe I just need to get a book on herbalism and not think that I need to do all of this on my own. But yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. I know that I can use this deck easily to do regular old tarot readings, but with the plant on there, I would want to use that somehow in the reading. I would, if I saw it and I didn't know what it was adding to the reading, it would bug me. It would bother me that I'm missing information that's being provided. And obviously there's medicinal information given in this book, but there's really not other kinds of information that we normally would use in a tarot reading. Like I said, any sort of folklore, or the plant in myth, or that sort of thing. But there we have it. I like the images. I like the plant associations. I like that it piques my curiosity. I'm very glad to have it. But I doubt I'll be able to jump right in and use it. It will require a little study. And a lot of worthwhile decks are like that. So that's nothing against the deck. Alright, so I hope this helps you make a decision on whether the Herbal Tarot deck is a deck for you. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.